I just saw Brenda again. Brenda, the nice gym lady. And so we talked about a couple things that were really cool. So first of all, her prayer requests, she's having a really hard time with her brother. So he's living in Northern California right now, just going through a divorce recently. And he's got a lot of friends that are like friends from high school, friends that are still partying and drinking, and just being a really bad influence. And there's a lot of girls that are coming in and out of his life right now that are distracting him from the Lord. And she's kind of put in a difficult position because her parents are wanting her to go out to California to essentially help him or save him, basically. And she's like, no, like he needs to bow his knee to King Jesus. And so she just needs prayer for that he finds the Lord and seeks him, and that, you know, he can really come to a point where with his alcoholism and with the partying and with the friends and with the divorce going on, where he can find the Lord in that, bow his knee to King Jesus, so that she can actually do something about it, because until then, I mean, it's just putting out fires. So also prayer for her parents, just because, you know, we talked about the fact that like some people are so, I want to say this the right way, some people live in only of what they know. And so like, this is my first time living, this is your first time living, whoever's watching this, me in the future, and this is her first time living, this is Brenda's first time living. And the only way that we understand the world as we understand right now is the way that we understand it. And so you can't judge someone, or you can't harp on someone for the way that they understand the world and the way that they understand themselves and the people around them, because that's all they know, right? And so it's hard for her because her parents are they're living in their own bubble and not reaching out or helping in any capacity, really. And so it's hard for her to want to help with him, but she is losing sleep and like not eating over this because she's stressed about what's going on with her brother. So anyway, prayers for that. Prayers for her mom, her dad, her brother, especially her brother, and just pray for herself, for like mentally being okay with trying to be loving and caring for her brother, but also having that boundary of like, hey, I'm here to help you when the time is right. And I can't, like, not forcing anything, not forcing love, not forcing anything on him, but to be there for him, even though things are really hard right now. We talked about a couple other things about, like, ironically, she brought up the fact about how like men and women have specific roles, and like men are supposed to like step up and take the lead, and how she mentioned something that was really interesting to me about how women really appreciate when there's a strong man that can step up and take the leadership role and take the leadership position, and then women can just relax and can just enjoy themselves. So, and she was talking about her whole life. She's like, I love it when a man can just step up, take the lead, do what needs to be done, and I don't have to worry about anything. I can just live in my own world, while the man's like looking out and taking care of things and keeping an eye on everything and having order and everything around what's going on around. And which led into a different topic about leadership in the church. And I brought up what we talked about at church on Sunday in 1 Timothy 2, about men's roles in the church and church leadership, and then also women's roles in church leadership and how they're kept from the office of pastor. and why, like why is that? Why is there a natural order? And why that natural order fulfills things, completes things, not only in terms of like men being leaders, but also in terms of women being able to step into their roles as a woman, and men being able to step into their roles. It completes a societal strength in each other, because as men and women, we are supposed to, even like especially in our marriages, we're supposed to reflect what each other aren't. If I'm supposed to be a leader and she follows my leadership, so she's going to have the qualities that I don't have, and I'm going to have the qualities that she doesn't have. I'm going to possess things that she doesn't have that she will have. So like I may have the strength and I may have the muscularity, I may have the physical strength, or the desire, or the will, or the willpower, or the leadership capabilities, but she may have the intellectual capabilities. She may have the communication, the network, the investment over time, of day in, day out, being able to invest in that way. Women have so many more capabilities than men to do that, to fulfill those roles. And when society can fit in to their masculine, God-given masculine and feminine roles, we can complement each other and build each other up in a very, very strong way. She said specifically to look at, I think it was not Greece, not Sparta, but some ancient culture. I say ancient, but to look at that culture and look at the men and women of that time. She said they weren't always, the modest, but the women were really strong, and the women were just beautiful and absolutely like flourishing. But the men were even stronger, and the men were leading and to the effect of the example. And so and then I talked about, she asked me a question about how men are in today's world, like in my age group, how are the young men leading? Are they leading? What does it look like? In mine, I said basically it's kind of like, it seems like in the Christian realm of my age group, there's a lot of men that are heavy on the intellectual side, heavy on the emotional side, heavy on the self-help side, and less on the building, creativity, leadership, servanthood side. And that was just a general thing that I said. And I'm speaking to myself here too, as a man. Like, this is where I naturally lean towards too, as my Ahab self. You know what I mean? And so I brought this topic up because I'm like, okay, so if there's a number of men, and a lot of Christian men, who aren't doing building, who aren't creating, who aren't filling the gaps of society that we're supposed to be fulfilling as men, then where's that margin? Where's that gap? You know what I mean? Like, if, like, for example, if like I was supposed to build a business, and in 10 years, where the margin is, where that's not going to be fulfilled in 10 years, because the same men who are studying all these things and becoming more intellectually smart and emotionally, they're building their emotional acuity, or maybe stuck in spirituality, I don't know, studying Marcus Aurelius, I don't care, whatever it is. And then they're not building, they're not creating the business, they're not giving value to society. So I'm like, where's that margin? Like, where could I fill in? Like, where could I build off of that? Like, what's going to be the greatest margin debt that we're going to fall into because of the way men are going right now? And so I was like, man, like, that made me get into the topic. I made us get into the topic of like purpose and passion and the career. And I was talking about my career, and I was like, hey, I was, quite simply put, like, I was planning to be a surgeon before I came back to Christ. Like that was my goal. And she was like, well, was it because of money? And that was your desire, and money and worth and value and all these things. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's a yes or a no, because I decided to choose that path before I turned back to Christ. So, where was my heart at before then? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But that's what's always is in the back of my head. I was like, okay, graduate high school, go to college, surge tech, work as a surge tech, pre-med, med, residency, you know what I mean, and then become surgeon. That's what made sense in my head. That's what I was like, oh yeah, like logically, this is what I should do. I had a passion for surgery at the time. I had a drive to take notes and to learn more about surgery, and I loved it so much. But now it's like that passion is removed. That passion it's there sometimes, but it's like a faint whisper. It's like the passion is fading. And it feels like every opportunity to move forward and to progress and to get better at my job and progress in the medical field, it feels like I'm being stonewalled every single time. And like I'm being set back. And like even when I'm doing good, it's like it feels like I'll be doing great. I'm doing better, and then boom, like there's a wall that gets put in my place. I'm getting better and better, and that's partially because of things that are out of my control, and that's also partially because of things that are in my control that I'm just not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Simultaneously, I'm half wondering if that's partially that partial part of what I'm not supposed to be doing is because I'm maybe mistrusting or misaligned in my purpose. Not my passion, but my purpose. And that's one thing that Brenda brought up. She was like, she was telling me, go home and tonight really do, like, search your heart. Allow the Spirit to search you, to search my heart, and to ask Him, what is your passion? What is your purpose? What is your calling? What calls to you? What do you do in this world? Or what could you do in this world that brings you so much joy and so much purpose for helping other people that it's like nothing else matters? Like you got blinders on. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't care what my parents think. I don't care what my girlfriend thinks. I don't care what my sister thinks. I don't care what my friends think. I don't care what my coworkers think. This is what I have to do, and I have to get it done. Like this has to happen, not because it's just a need that needs to be filled, because it's my purpose, and this is what I'm aligned with, and this is the goal for me. And I think it's crazy because this is the first time that I don't know if surgery's it. I don't know if surgery is the goal. I don't know if it's my purpose. But I'm gonna pray about it. And I'm gonna pray for Brenda. I'm gonna pray for her, her mom and her dad, and Jacob in his whole situation. I'm going to pray for her and her contentment in her situation, and pray for myself and my purpose, and also praying for my future wife, my future spouse, because I want to pray for her before I can start praying with her. So, yeah, that's all I had to share. But yeah. Future me, have a great day. Love you. God bless.